And my first and only question is it Keitel or Keitel?
Keitel.
Keitel. Okay, so it was my question. This is your microphone. And we have to wait till the people with cameras finish their job quickly. Yes, yes.
What I just did was my way of saying that I'm sitting there with you because I've sat there more often in my life than I have here. So just take it that we're sitting together and talking together, okay?
Okay. So because of photographers are not talking, so I think that we could finish. It was great. It was great. This lady we cannot expel her. She's the fixture on this festival, and she will take pictures all the time. She doesn't speak English, so we can just we can be open about her. Okay, so are there any questions for Mr. Keitel? Okay, there is Ifcha. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I lost my mic already. No.
Hello, I just want to ask because Tony Revolori was here, the guy from Grand Budapest Hotel, and he said that every time you meet him, you slap him. And he said to tell you hello and ask about it, so I just ask about it. If it's true that you slap him every time you meet him.
The young actor, you mean?
Yeah.
Is he here?
No, he left already. But he was really sorry not to meet you here.
Do you all know the young man she's speaking about? Do you all know the young man she's speaking about?
From the West Anderson.
He's in Wes Anderson's film, The Grand Budapest Hotel. So we had the scene to do where I had to smack him. And the most difficult thing to do in a movie sometimes is a smack. Because it's hard to make it look real. Because if you don't do it real, then a person moves the head and you have to get the space right. So I said to him, do you mind if I smack you? And he said, no, okay. I said, you could smack me as well. So, because I'm going to smack you really hard. I said, well, you could smack me so that, it's going to sting, but you could take it and I'll be able to take it. And he said, okay, but you don't have to smack, I won't smack you. So I must have smacked him about 25 times before we got the shot, and his whole cheek was red, and he was really a champion about it. So every time I saw him after the movie, I smack him when I see him the first time.
Okay, next question. Okay.
How the late fatherhood change your creation?
I'm sorry, I understand.
Sorry,
How the late fatherhood that you became a father on the influence on your art creation?
Has it changed my what situation?
No,
creation.
I can, so let me. You became a father, and if it changed the way you act, you create the roles.
Oh. Well, it changed the way I clean diapers, and then, well, sure. Having a child is the most wonderful thing in the world. Changes everything for the better, no matter how difficult it might be.
Okay, that was nice. Any other questions? No questions. I told you, you're not about to leave this room, not posing the question.
Hi, I just wanted to ask you, I read somewhere lately that there is supposed to be a project coming maybe called The Irishman with Mr. Scorsese.
I'm not in it.
You're not in it? Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
no one's asked me to be, so I'm assuming I'm not in it.
Because, well, there was just rumors, so I just wanted to ask. But, good luck. We were very excited to see you.
Well, I'm glad you are, but the rumor is wrong. I mean, they might be making that film, but I'm not in it.
Okay, well, apologies.
Okay, Not good start. Not good start. Make them better.
Hi, I would like to ask you about the cooperation with Quentin Tarantino in Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, if you may tell something.
Well, our cooperation consisted of something like this. You understand me? Say action. Okay, that was it. What can I say? What do you want to ask me about him? I mean, he's a wonderfully talented fellow, you know.
I have the question. Because of basically,
Magnificent has the answer.
yeah, basically,
A good sense of humor.
yeah, she's laughing all the time, but we worked for the same TV in the past, so we just she has to laugh. She has it in the contract. You basically discovered Quentin Tarantino because of you were the one who read the script and you begged him as a director. You begged him, and you're a co-producer on Reservoir Dogs. So.
Where does this begging come in?
Sorry.
You said I begged him?
No. You begged him. He begged you. Oh my God. Yes. So, what was it you saw in the script, or, this was really important for the film and for, history of film, that Quentin Tarantino started to make movies?
Well, now for the history, we'll get this straight and say that a woman colleague of mine from the Actors Studio called me one day, it's a wonderful actress that I know from the Actors Studio in New York, and said to me she has this script she thinks I'll like. And because of her and her talent, I said, send it over. And it was Reservoir Dogs. And just reading that script sort of moved me like something awed, whatever that word is. Something awes a little bit. And it was magnificent. Well, you've all seen the movie, I take it. But the script was really brilliant, so... Just reading it, I said, I want to do it. And I called him. I called Lawrence Bender, Quentin's producer, to tell him I want to do it. And then a typical Hollywood thing happened. Then I called Quentin, and he said, no, it's not Harvey Keitel. I said, it is. I said, no, really? And we got together and made the movie. But ask me some more questions. I'm tired. Go ahead, because I could give a monologue that will last for a day, I guess, on Quentin. So, if there's anything you want to know, ask me. Just ask me, and I'll tell you if I can answer it or not.
Okay, so we have now Tarantino section, then we'll have Sorrentino section. So, any more questions about Quentin? No, I'm kind of like afraid now that I will have to pick up my list of questions I prepared.
Go over here, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, here. Sorry. Oh.
You can stand up to. Yeah.
And what? Well, Theo was a genius. What? Sorry. No, he wasn't the first. No, the first was Bertrand Tavernier. Way before. Theo was just a genius. I don't know if many of you know him or not, but they said of him that he was like Homer. Theo was Greek, and he was revered in Greece like Homer. Just a brilliant man. Who usually every film he made was accepted into Cannes every year. Whenever he made a film, I mean, he would be accepted into Cannes or any festival he wanted, and not many people saw his films. It's an odd juxtaposition of things, but he was this genius, and He was killed in a motorcycle accident about 2 years ago. He was making a film, and he crossed the road, and some motorcycle hit him. So we won't have any more Teo Angelopoulos films, but I recommend that you see them because you'll see something really unique in the filmmaker, and well, you've seen how powerful cinema can be, but he's certainly a good example of how cinema can be as classic as maybe Homer was and people of that ilk. Was that the question? I might have gotten a little lost.
No, it was about.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Maybe a general question about how do you select your roles? And the second part of the question is that because you have supported a lot of, let's say, independent filmmakers and upcoming filmmakers, and has it changed in America, let's say, in the last 20 years, that how you're able to produce these independent films?
Well, the first question was, how do I select my films? I'm going to answer by telling you a story that Robert De Niro told me. We were making a film together. I was always studying the script. This is to answer his question about how do I select my films. And I was studying, Robert was there somewhere. He says, why are you always looking at the script? I said, because I'm studying the script. He said, don't you know how to read a script? I said, what do you mean, do I know how to read a script? I'm reading it. He said, but you're always reading it. He said, look, let me teach you how to read a script. I said, here, go ahead. So he said, okay, imagine I'm holding a script in my hands. This is how I read a script now. He said, imagine I'm holding a script in my hands. Here's how you read it. Bullshit, 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 my part. Bullshit, bullshit. Oh, here you go.
And the second question was about the independent produced films.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's always difficult for filmmakers to raise money for film, and you know, Hollywood has its studio system in place, and that's making a lot of money from what I read and understand. More money now than ever, I think. But independent films has always been a task to raise money for, but don't stop making them, whatever you do. Without independent films, there'd be no Hollywood, I think. But the independent films are so important because they're stories coming from young people, from their hearts and minds and blood and bones. So we have to make sure we always try to help the independent filmmaker. Reservoir Dogs was an independent film. Well, there are many independent films I made, but Quentin would not have made this film. He couldn't raise money for it. And we managed to raise, I think it was $1,200,000 at the time. And other films I've made in that $1 million range, let's say, and maybe one or two even less. And it's very difficult to find that money, but find it we must always struggle for. Whatever you have to do, any filmmakers out there, you know, beg, borrow, steal, and make your independent films. Get the writers you know, the actors you know, the costume designers and set directors, because the public needs your input. Theater was made, designed, created by the ancient Greeks, or probably before them even, to discuss the problems of the community in public with the community. And we have to continue doing that. That's the real, in my mind, that's the real objective of cinema, is to bring the problems of the community in front of the community itself, to discuss them and find solutions.
Was it more difficult was it easier in the 90s to get money for these indie films than now? Has it changed? Let's say like 90s.
Yeah, okay. I don't really know. I'm no expert on this, but my understanding is that it has changed. It was easier before the 90s even. But I understand it's very difficult now. But they're coming. they're coming. You know, things ebb and flow. There's ebb and flow to things, and one must never think that independent cinema will ever die, or that or cinema will take over independent films, or the net will take over independent films and cinema. There's always going to be a need for your stories. What's the word I want? What utility it shows through, what mechanism it shows through, leave it to them. But they need your stories. Without your stories, Billy Wilder, the great director, if you know him or not, I don't know, said you need 3 things to make a movie. The story, the story, the story. It's not going to come from a Hollywood executive. Don't say that I said that.
You will cut it.
Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for raising money.
Okay. Hey? What's the appropriate way how the independent filmmaker can approach you in order to raise the budget or whatever? I mean, how independent filmmaker should act in order to approach you or pitch you the scripts or the idea or whatever?
Do you have the script with you?
Yeah. Well, not the script. I have the pitch.
No pitching. No pitching.
I'm not the one to be pitched at, because I'm not the guy you're looking for. You're looking for someone with the business set up to give you startup money, you know. So you have to get out there and pitch your film to people, yeah. To the right people. And it's work. It's work. If I had an answer for you, I would give it to you. I have a few films I want to get made, and I'm doing what you were asking me the question about. You know, I'm looking for people who have some money, who want to make a film with me. And I try to get them to sit down and hear a story, you know. But if you can find a person you can sit down that has money and will understand your story, please call me.
Hello. My question is if you have seen the Werner Herzog's remake of your film Bad Lieutenant, and what do you think about it if you have, and if Nicolas Cage has contacted you about the main character, since you both start together before the film?
You're just talking about
the Lieutenant and Nicolas Cage, he approached you before he took the role.
Oh, did he approach me?
That was the question.
Oh, no, I wasn't asking you. I don't know. Just trying to repeat the question.
The question was if you have seen the remake of your film, Werner Herzog's
no,
Bad Lieutenant.
I haven't seen it, nor did he ask me.
But you are co-producer of the original one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you should have signed something that they can do remake.
He made the film with the owner of the rights to the film. I certainly would have not given him permission. No, I mean, I feel, I've said it before, maybe you heard me, any artist has the right to do anything they want to do. I would support it. It doesn't mean I'd have to like it or agree with it, but every artist has the right to, you never know when someone's going to do something extraordinary. So you always have to support each other. Others' right to create what they imagine. Yeah.
And can we ask you about the original one, about original Bad Lieutenant movie, which is arguably one of your greatest roles?
Ask me whatever you like.
Okay, so I'll ask you, when you read the script, Not that. Okay. But still, because of it took courage to take this part. It's not just the part. It's not, it's something that, this is really bold move. I'm not quite sure if you were the first first option, because if I'd be an actor, I just would refuse to play it. So how did you change? How did you decide it?
What do you want me to do? Sit here and say nice things about myself?
Yes.
for you filmmakers out there. I wonder if I need this at all. Do I? Back there? I do. Okay. Okay, it's easier actually. It's interesting what happened because it was made a long time ago, the bad lieutenant now. And I was, at that time in my career, getting a lot of very good roles, but they were supporting roles. And I was aching to have a lead in a movie. So I wanted to do more, you know. So my attorney at the time said, I have this writer I represent, Abel Ferrara, and he has a script he wants you for. I'm going to send it over to you. I said, is it a lead? He said, yeah. So he sends me over the script. And let me see. The script was about this thin. I opened it up. I opened it up, and the letters were about that large. And I'm wondering, what the hell is this? You know. So I start to read it. And after about 5 pages, I literally stood up in my room, and I was by myself, and I was lonely and feeling sorry for myself, upset I can't get a lead. And I threw the script in the garbage, in the pail. I cursed a lot. Said, damn it, my luck. If I could have had a lead in the film, the script stinks. So I hadn't finished it, so I went back in the garbage and I got it out. And I continued to read. And I came to the part of the nun in the movie, if any of you saw the movie, because the part of the lieutenant was not written so much as just talked about. But the part of the nun was written by this incredible young lady whose name was Zoe Lund, yes. Beautiful young girl who was one of the most extraordinarily talented people I've met in my life. Unfortunately, she died way before her years from a drug overdose of heroin. But the way she wrote that nun helped me to understand what this script was about. And I knew I was going to make this movie. And so Abel Ferrara and I got together, and we set out to get the money. In case I forget, there was a scene in the movie where I shoot up, and it was Zoe. For those of you who have seen the movie, or maybe might see it, Zoe was the young woman I'm talking about that shot me up in the scene. I say it because that might be the only time you see her. Ever see her. I got lost here now. Oh, yeah. So Ed Pressman, who produced the second Bad Lieutenant in New Orleans, was going to give us the money. And then Abel comes to me one day and says, Harvey, Ed changed his mind. He's not giving us the money. Well, we got very upset, the both of us. We said, and we did go to his house, and he had just had a baby. We said, we're going to kidnap this baby if we have to. We weren't going to, but we really said we're going to just threaten him because we thought that we could scare him. Anyway, it worked. He did produce the movie, and then he became very proud of having given us the money to make the movie. So that's how The Bad Lieutenant came to be. And it was made for $1 million in 4 weeks in New York City.
4 weeks?
4 weeks, yeah.
It's like Czech film.
Like what?
It's as fast like the Czech film. 4 weeks.
Fast like what?
We don't have money in this country for shooting movies, so we shoot like 3 weeks, 4 weeks as well. So I said that it's fast like the Czech film.
Oh, like the Czech film?
Yeah, the Czech film.
I have 2 words for you. Berlitz. That didn't go over well here.
Forget it. Okay, just forget all of it. More questions? Oh, there is a lady.
Hello again. I would like to ask back to the youth. I didn't ask this question at the press conference. There is a scene when Mick and Fred are in the swimming pool and the naked Miss Universe joining them. And I'm curious, what do you think if you mentioned about passing time? Does it mean that the only thing you want to keep time or searching for lost time is just contemplating, observing her naked body? So this is biblical, of course, background, so that's my question.
I won't be able to answer your question because I can't speculate on what Paolo Sorrentino's reason was for that. But he's the one the question should be directed to. I have my own direction going on when I make a movie, as any actor most likely does, and own justification for this and that. So I'm sorry, I won't be able to help you with that.
No, but what do you think? What is your opinion? That sometimes when we are on the edge, when we're looking back on the past and we are in some age, that sometimes what we can do is contemplating life.
I was, like I said, I didn't write the screenplay. I was playing a character in it, and playing that character in that movie, that was not one of my considerations about the passage of time in life in that moment in the movie.
Okay, I understand that, but I only wanted to provoke you to ask as a private person.
I had other considerations as the character in the movie. And my own life is a different matter. If we ever meet again, we can have a drink and
okay, with pleasure.
Discuss it.
We'll talk, yeah.
Okay. Somebody else?
Anybody in the back?
No, they're not afraid. They're people of second
I
grade,
have one probably very stupid question, but this acting business, does that kind of change a lot for you over the years, or does it get easier over the years?
I've never found it to get easier for me, but I find crossing the street difficult. But certainly it changes over time. The longer you do it, the way you change. You don't have to be an actor, and certain things become more available. Other things keep distancing themselves from you, and you have to walk quicker to catch up to it. Was that your question?
Yeah, well, maybe it's a presumptuous thought, but to a certain degree, I feel, myself being an elderly guy, I feel that one beautiful thing about getting older is that you actually give up this concept of what is real and what is not real. You're more kind of fluctuating freely in between the two fears, right?
Well, I've experienced that, yeah. I mean,
and that might ease that task of being an actor.
Well, even when I was younger, though, certain roles came to me in different ways. Others more difficult than another might be. So I'm not sure it's an age thing particularly, but certainly we hope we mature as we get older and under our awareness grows. That is something that's necessary for good life awareness. And in that way, may be easier, but there'll always be something difficult to take its place. You don't have to worry about that.
Somebody? No question? There is a hand. There is the other hand. The other hand. No, it's the same hand as usual. I want other hands.
Right. Mr. Keitel, you have mentioned already several directors with whom you have worked and your cooperation was successful and fruitful. If I may ask, in your rich career of actor, have there been some experiences that you can share with us, if you like, on the contrary, when working with certain directors was hard or difficult in any way, or maybe uneasy for you? If you can answer, giving the ethical considerations, I would like to hear the answer. Thank you.
It really wouldn't be gentlemanly of me if I discuss that without the other person being present,
All right, thanks.
Because, that rat bastard might think I was one too. So, in all fairness, I wouldn't be willing to discuss that. Okay. But if you catch me alone somewhere, maybe we could talk about people we hate.
Okay. Yes, you just don't have the. I just can show there.
Is there anything from shooting on the piano, any story, anecdote, something you enjoyed, a happy accident, anything that comes to mind that you want to tell us about?
Well, the happy accident was Jane Campion herself. You know, she's just, I'm fond of calling her a goddess, but I say that's the goddess side of her witch. But she's just an extraordinary lady. It was all a pleasure with her. Maybe that comes back to the other fellas' question about easy and get easier and all that. Jane Campion was great to work with because she's, you know, like when you meet anybody, you don't have to be an actor or a director. You meet anybody that their struggle or their thing is similar to yours, so the understanding comes so quickly that you have to work to catch up to the understanding that you're already sharing as soon as you met. And she was one of those experiences for me. Just a beautiful, beautiful lady.
Yeah, having worked with such a variety of directors from...
I'm sorry, having what?
Having worked with a variety of directors from Scorsese to Tarantino and Wes Anderson, I was wondering, in the future, are there any directors you've yet to collaborate with that you'd like to work with in your upcoming films?
Well, simple answer would be yes. You know, those wonderful directors that we all enjoy are making great films today from anywhere in the world that they're living. So, yes.
Is there anyone specific that you've seen?
I couldn't pick out one just off the top of my head because of a question happened earlier. This great Italian director who did come on, Harvey. Gomorrah, and he did a couple of other things. Then there's another Italian director who had a film in the festival as well. Yes. Yes. Yes, him too. They just stand out in my mind right now, but there are many beautiful directors around the world. Okay, we're... You said of a bad guy or
a soldier.
Or a soldier?
Or a type of role that you like to play the most or you enjoy the most?
Well, I always like in fun to say I've never played a bad guy. Because every bad guy thinks he's good. So, I like that one.
Yes.
Obviously, you didn't connect to my answer. She did. I'm always looking for the kind of screenplay that I would look for when I watch a movie or hear some music or watch a dance or go to the theater, read a book, something that touches you in some way, so you feel you're, and all of a sudden you go, and you need to know about it. So there's no particular role like that, no. Wherever that mystery is, that pulls in what you don't know and it awakens a need in you to know it, that's the thing. It's a very heady thing because it's not a physical thing. You know, it's more in the mind. And you have a question? What do you mean no? You see, you're sitting in the first row, first seat.
How are you?
Don't ask.
No questions. Bad day. You know, I just recalled when he said soldier. He said soldier. And I just recalled you were with the Marines. You were a soldier yourself.
No, I wasn't a soldier. I was a Marine.
You was I know, but this is cultural thing because I don't understand these differences because I'm from this land. It's just.
No, you can't blame everything on Czechoslovakia.
Yes, I do all my life. But still.
Who she is because she laughs at everything.
Yeah, but she's not Czech because Czech don't laugh. They just stare. Yeah, are you? She's proud Czech, so we can switch. Can you just be here because I'm not proud to be Czech? So, okay, so come on.
Maybe you two could get together.
Yeah, okay. No, take my microphone.
All right, and you will take mine. All right. But it's not about me,
What happened with him?
I don't know.
He's sensitive.
Yes, I'm sensitive.
Boy, are you single? No, I mean, maybe he needs a girlfriend or something.
Do you think that then he will be more proud?
I think that could make him proud.
I like about this that it's about me. It's great. This is great. Best moment in my life.
Okay.
Ask him
But yeah, if I can, my question would be, what was the most exquisite moment in your life? And thank you for inspiration.
Who's this? The birth of my daughter, then the birth of my son. What about yours?
I do not have children. I hope I will. And, exquisite moments every day. Just the rays of the sun, meeting inspiring people such as you are.
If somebody doesn't grab this woman, they're making a mistake. That's beautiful. What do you do? I mean, what kind of work are you trying to do?
I'm the reporter and anchor.
Really?
But I think that those people would like to ask more questions, so I will ask one more if I can. What would be your dream role, let's say? Something what would be really challenging for you and a kind of dream at the same time?
Well, I sort of answered it before.
Sort of.
Oh, you didn't like that answer? Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
But more about the dream,
Well, the dream is really exactly that, finding those roles that make you aware in a way that you feel you're chasing that dream, and now you're grabbing a little piece of it. And that's the kind of role that I aspire to. You feel it. You feel it when you see anything that touches you, that you love somehow in some way. And that's the glass you want to buy, the dress you want to wear, and the guy you want to break your heart. Okay, maybe we better let our friend come back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will have to give her part of my money I get for this. Okay, so please questions because we are running out of time. Yes, there's a hand.
Mr. Keitel, do you happen to teach junior actors, colleague actors on the set, if you are in a way disappointed with their acting or something?
Or even if you're not.
Do you do that?
Well, actors and the school I come from are always trying to help each other. If somebody gets stuck, like I described to you that De Niro taught me how to read a script.
Yeah.
That's just a joke. So sure, you're always trying to help each other out, but everybody studies. We learn the craft by studying it. So much for that. Anybody else? And how about back there? Anybody hiding back there? There you go.
Is there a piece of advice that you now would like to give yourself at the start of your career? So if you could go back in time and give yourself a piece of advice when you were starting out, what would you say?
Let's see. It's a good question. That's That's why I'm looking for an answer that might be as good as your question is, but I don't think that I can find it. But in an overall way, I have the chance to do that now with my son. And my daughter is older, so she's doing it already. My son's only 11. My daughter's in her 20s. I'd have a more well-rounded, circumspect, liberal arts education. I was thrown out of high school, so my education was cut very short. And because that education, I know, would have informed me in a great many ways. I wouldn't change my journey so much, but I'm just speaking sort of a general way, you know. I mean, I would have read much more when I was younger and educated myself in a more well-rounded way. Because that gives you freedom and prepares you for everything. The better educated you are, the more freedom you have. It's like when I curse sometimes. I have a habit from being brought up in Brooklyn. I always use a foul word when I get angry. And it's ruined a lot of improvisations in films I've done. And so my son picks up my habit once in a while when he hears Daddy get angry. And I say to him, Roman, don't curse. Daddy has a habit from his childhood, and I wish I could stop it. I'm always trying to stop it. So I'm trying to teach him, and he is getting a better education than I had, so he has a bigger choice of words. Where I grew up in Brooklyn, you didn't have many choice of words to express anger. It was just words like, those are the physical expressions of what you know I mean. So that's it. Okay? Anybody remaining?
Is your son can curse you in Hebrew?
Is what?
If your son can curse you back in Hebrew.
In Hebrew?
In Hebrew, yeah.
If your son can...
Are you Israeli?
Yeah.
You're Israeli. I was married in Israel. Yeah. Can he curse in Hebrew? Not yet. I don't speak Hebrew.
Okay, any other questions?
Concerning the work on the set, what type of director do you like working with? I mean, there are various types of directors, some like talking to actors a lot, some just watch the monitors. So which type do you prefer?
It's a difficult question to answer because you know the various people that you meet and have met in your life, and what separates that one from the other one. Excuse me. You know, this one you like, that one you don't like, and it's sort of that. It depends on the person, where they're from, their emotional makeup, their artistic eye, their bent in life, why they're here to begin with, in this, doing this work. You know, it's often not just, I'm thinking out loud now, it's often not just about intellect, you know, it's not about that. It's about something that you hope intellect can take you to. But oftentimes it doesn't. It just stops at intellect, and then it becomes, translates to harshness and greed and all that. So, anybody else? Yes.
Yes, thank you. Do you think that the Stanislavski method, I mean acting Stanislavski method, is still the best way of expression for the for acting?
I think whatever method works for you works, but I do follow the method. That's what I studied. It's a wonderful method. Stanislavski was a brilliant actor and director. The Moscow Art Theater was a brilliant place in and of itself. So that method is not so bad to follow. But it's a beginning. It's a beginning. The real method will come with the madness of you. Once you let that technique take you to places you want to go, it'll be up to your madness to recognize when you're in the right place. That the method can lead you to. Yeah. Well, I remember it took me, it was difficult for me at times. When I was younger, I was so rigid about the method that I sort of forgot about the acting. And then I realized I was using the method, and there was nothing wrong with the method, it was me. I was hiding behind the method. Instead of using it for what it was supposed to be used for, to take you to a place, as a suggestion. And the acting comes with this, I'm calling it the madness of us. I mean that in a beautiful way.
Thank you. In Fingers, you played a Bach's toccata on piano, and did you learn that song, to playing it all, or do you enjoy the music? Did you learn the piano by alone or not? I was just wondering because I love that film, and I wondered if if you played it or not. In Fingers, in the movie, you played the role, and the second was if the idea of the main role came from which person of your team came the main idea of that person.
That was written by James Toback. Are you talking about Fingers?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Jim Toback wrote it. The main idea was his.
I was just wondering if you.
But the Jimmy Toback is a pianist. He plays classical, and the piece he chose to play for the movie, as you know, is a Bach toccata. Well, it's so I wanted to learn how to play it. Yeah, okay. Good luck. I even moved the piano into my hotel room because at that time we made the movie. My apartment was so small you couldn't fit a piano in it, and so I moved to a hotel, and they put a piano in, and I'm going crazy. They're trying to do this thing, and finally I realized what the hell's going on here. They expect me to play just a couple of keys, but even that I couldn't do. I didn't play the piano, and then I went to the fellow who was teaching it to me one day. I said, "Can't we play it slower first?" Because the fellow was a pianist; he wasn't a director or an actor or anything. And sure enough, he says, "That's a good idea." So can you imagine? I mean, I was a young actor at the time. So I started going, one at a time, and that put me in a closer place where I was able to do the fingering, but I could never play the Bach toccata. I mean, that was Glenn Gould, number one.
I was thinking
who was one of the greatest, the Gould variations. He's one of the great artists, incredible. You ever see the documentary on him, by the way? Yes. Yeah, it's a brilliant documentary. If anyone wants to see a real genius at work, there's a documentary. Do you know this pianist, Glenn Gould? Anybody? Well, if not, you should get this documentary that we're talking about because it's really just genius.
There was a guy next to the wall just trying to...
Hello, Mr. Keitel. You made some tremendous movies with Mr. Martin Scorsese. Could you describe his kind of way of working? Is he that kind of director which gives more freedom to actors, or is he very strictly?
No. Marty's hero was Elia Kazan. You know who Elia Kazan was? Do you?
Yeah.
No, you. Oh.
You know that.
Okay, well, if any of you don't know Elia Kazan and you're a filmmaker or an actor, director, writer, you should know Elia Kazan. and see his movies. You should see his movies. And Kazan, John Cassavetes, people that Scorsese admired, and the Italian directors. No, Marty is a guy from the streets of New York. He grew up in Little Italy there, went to NYU, and has a good education. He's very smart, and he wasn't a dictator. He wasn't, do it this way, do it that way. He knew his actors from watching cinema, the best of cinema, and these people like Elia Kazan. And there's a great interview of Elia Kazan written by a fellow named Jeff or Jeffrey something. If you want to read a great book, Kazan gave this guy the right to interview him. Jeffrey, I can't remember his last name now, but he was a member of the Actors Studio. And he wrote this interview with Kazan, which is a great book to read if you want to read about the actor-director relationship. Great book. Talks about Brando and directing Brando and this and that, whatnot. To give you one thing I liked that Kazan said in the book when he was directing Marlon Brando, which is one of my favorite things ever, on the waterfront. So he said he goes over to Marlon because he wanted something done a certain way or something. He felt Marlon wasn't understanding, what Kazan wanted. So he said, walked over to Marlon and he started talking to Marlon Brando, going, blah, 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 blah. He's talking and talking. And in the middle of his talking, he says, this is Kazan saying, the bastard just walked away from me. So that's the kind of understanding you really need.
I think we have time for last two questions. So, is there anyone? Oh, there's one.
In your filmography, you accept without read the script before?
Say it again.
If there's a movie, you accept it without reading the script before.
No, never. I don't think so. Never.
Okay, so I think we have time for 3 questions like that. Okay. Anybody? Oh, there's the guy behind the lamp.
By the way, forgive my posture. I just got here last week and I'm just beat. Okay.
Yes, a quick question. I want to ask you about, did you ever consider directing a film yourself?
Yeah, but I just never got around to it because I was busy trying to stay alive in the world I was in.
Okay.
But when you're lucky enough to work with the kinds of directors I worked with, and lucky enough to get that kind of work I got, and I worked in theater a lot, you learn part of it is directing yourself. The director's hoping you come in there with something you've already directed that he can direct you with. You know what I mean, sort of? Okay.
Mr. Keitel, can you share with us some secrets that you have in terms of choosing the right role and turning down the bad offers? Because you seem to be doing a good job in terms of filtering out bad projects for yourself, and it shows on the outcomes in terms of your actors' performances. And there are some other actors who are great actors, but they would take up any job, and you are just always seem to be finding a right piece for you, a right part for you. How do you do that?
I wish that were. I wish that was an absolute and 100% true, but it's not. I've had moments in my life I had to take a job to make some money, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're all working people, and you do your best. You do your best to honor yourself, with the kind of work that you want. But all of us have had to shine shoes at one time or another in our life, and I did shine shoes at one time in my life. So, I can't be absolute about anything like that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I would say that it's about it, isn't it? Just like
So he and his new girlfriend would say they've had it, and this. Okay, thank you all.